But in '92, I had a phone call from my father. He said to me that he had a stroke, his heart, and he needs me to come home because I am the eldest, and in our societies, the eldest always takes responsibility after the father for the family. So I had to go, and I took my wife Sharon with me, and then we had Adam at the time. He was, I think, 2.5 years old. And then one day I had a visitor, and he said to me, I can't remember his name, Lieutenant so-and-so in the Secret Services, we want you to go there. So you can imagine my heart went all the way down. I've got an English wife who's a foreigner in Libya, and I've got a young son, and things start to play in my head. What will happen to them, because I know once you go, you're finished. But luckily, I got there and they told me, take this paper and fill in from the day you arrived to England to the day you came home, everybody you met, everybody you've seen, you talked to. And so obviously I took it back, and me being me and my generation, I gave them no information. All I did was, I came to study aircraft engineering, and due to the bad and stupid act of America bombing Libya, our study was stopped, so I could not finish it. Therefore, I had to stay to finish it and gain my qualifications, because I could not go back with no qualifications after all these years. And obviously, I did wait, and I finished my qualifications. Now I had a chance. I came back to Libya. So I didn't mention any names or anybody. And I hope that report will be still kept in the archives of the intelligence service. But then, a few days later, they told me, we want you again. I went, and they said to me, our chief wants you in Tripoli. So I thought, that's it, because we know if you go to Tripoli, that's it, nobody will see you. I don't know why they actually behaved this way with me. And then he said to me, do you know where the intelligence headquarters in Tripoli? I said to him, yes, I know. Obviously, I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't even know Tripoli, really. So he said, okay, you come back here Saturday, and you get a ticket, and then you go. I said, fine. So I came home, and I told my wife, look, pack up a suitcase with small things, and let's get out of here. So I went and asked a neighbor who had a taxi, a 7-seater. So I said to him, how much? He said to me, you have to pay for the 7 seats, otherwise you have to be you, your wife, and any other passengers. But I can't have passengers in my situation trying to get out. So I paid for the whole seating, and I took my brother, because in Libya, if you are wanted, then your name will be circulated in all the checkpoints. So I said, I'll take one of my brothers with me, just in case anything happened, then he will look after Sharon and Adam. And at least they know what happened. And he came with us, but to my luck, I don't know why that neighbor didn't come, but he sent an Egyptian driver. So we all went into the taxi except me, because I noticed one intelligence officer sitting in the road in his car. So I pretended that actually only Sharon going in the taxi. So I put them in taxi, waved to them, I got in the house, I jumped from the wall to the next street, and I ran out, and I caught the taxi, and I went in with them, and I went. And between Benghazi and Egypt, there's hundreds of checkpoints. And every checkpoint, luckily the guys are lazy, they just sit in their car, yeah, and they're not manning it. But the problem I had was the Egyptian driver. Every checkpoint we come to, although they're not there, he keeps beeping, beep, 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 getting their attention to ask them, shall I go or what? And I say, please, just go. Why you do this? Obviously, I can't tell him, yeah, but to myself, I'm feeling, you know, and then we go. Some of them, they come out of the car, stop, have you got cigarettes? And I give them cigarettes, and then they wave us. We went through every single one of them until the last checkpoint. If I go out of this one, I am on Egyptian soil. I came out, the taxi stopped, I came out, got my passport, Sharon's passport, and my brother's passport. He looked, he was, I think he might have been 19, 20, drunk, he can't even stand up, he's swaying like a tree, yeah? And he looked and he said to me, you and this guy can go. The woman can't go. I said to him, why? He said, she needs an exit visa. I said to him, no, if you look at her passport, she's a wife of a Libyan citizen, she doesn't need a visa because we got out of Tripoli, not even Benghazi. Tripoli is the capital. We got out a few times to Malta and back with no visa, because otherwise, if she needs a visa, I would have taken a visa. He said, no way. You can go out, but she can't. If you want to explain this, you can wait till the morning until the intelligence services come, and they might solve your problem. So I thought, I can't. I came back to the car, that was 3:30 in the morning. I came back to the taxi and I said to Sharon, look, you know that they are after me. And they want me to wait until the intelligence come in the morning to let you out. And I can't wait for the intelligence. But he says I can go now. So if I go, you could wait here in the morning and see what happens. And obviously those days, there was no mobile phones, nothing. So he waved the car for me. I jumped into the car and they dropped me off the Egyptian checkpoint. Now I'm out. So I felt relieved. But how I'm going to find Sharon when she comes back? So I had no choice but to find a big stone and put it right there where every car that actually comes out of Libya into Egypt must pass in front of me, because I have no choice. I cannot waste a chance of, or a car, or missing them. So I stayed there for 2 days, and and cars going back into Libya, I keep writing little notes and say, look, there's a taxi that's waiting there with an English lady, could you give her this note? I've sent so many notes, but I didn't know that Sharon was refused exit and she was told to turn back. So from that 6 o'clock in the evening, she stayed all night and then went back to Benghazi without even having a rest or going to the restroom or nothing. So when she got back into Benghazi, went to the flat, you can imagine how she feels, yeah? And I didn't know all this. Obviously, she told me afterwards, and I was still thinking that she's still on the border. And then I had a hard time from the Egyptian border guards, because they reckon, they came and asked me, why are you sitting here? I said, I'm waiting for my wife. Why didn't you bring your wife with you? I said, oh, I had to go. I thought it was only 5 minutes, but obviously it's not 5 minutes. So they start taking the mickey out of me and sarcasm, look at this man leaving, but because they don't know the truth. They don't know the story why I had to get out. And after 2 days sitting at that point, at the border crossings between Libya and Egypt, I suddenly saw this taxi with my other brother sitting in the front, and I could see at the back Sharon sitting there with Adam and Lena. She was 8 months old at that time. Obviously, on the point where I left them, I came and gave him a hug and a kiss and a little bit of tears. and I saw them again, and that was it. Because if I left that point and I went into Egypt, I would never find them, and they will never find me. How can we communicate? I don't know where I'm going to be. They haven't got a clue where I'm going to be, what hotel or nothing. So I had no choice but to sit at that point.
And what do you and your wife call that time?
We always refer to it as the Great Escape, really.